All right, let's see.
Okay, so we're live. But,
it's going now. We're live. Yeah.
We really know.
I think we seems all working.
It's okay. I'm gonna.
Wow, so smooth. It's so professional now.
So
yeah, we are live. It's working all fine.
Great.
Finally.
You have the technician like doing everything.
Yeah.
Hello
everyone. We're just trying this new YouTube system, so you guys can have the link before in advance, so it makes it a lot easier. So welcome to the show.
Welcome everybody.
Hello.
So today we have I gotta say a special guest, because Sebas, you did one of the first SNE Evil talk ever, no?
That's right.
What was the first? Challenge Your World?
I think it was the second talk. There's a second one. The first was
Dave Wilson, no?
I was gonna say the first talk with the pass it on ones, and then we did
challenge. Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So it's been 13 years ago.
Yeah. How have you changed?
Nothing. I'm the same with less hair.
Yeah. The good thing it's a forward-facing camera, because the back is a disaster.
No. For me, it's Tiago is still like exactly the same.
I'm getting.
It's a tattoo. That. I'm pretty sure it's tattooed.
Yes.
Yeah. So before we start, let me play Sebas. It's kind of it's not a new reel, but it's something we want to show you guys, just so if you're not used to his work, and after that we can introduce everyone. Let me just share this screen here. Give me a second. We're really getting better on this. Cool. So you guys should be able to see.
It doesn't have music, so
yeah. So you can talk through about.
I can talk. Yeah, I can talk through. This is actually the only kind of showreel that I have that I'm using as a background for my website. I'm so sorry that I don't have a showreel, but I'm focusing more in directing and doing visual storytelling in studios. So I don't think it's fair for me to have a showreel, because usually what gives value to my work is actually seeing the entire movie. It's not a movie, like animation, video, wherever you want to call it. So a showreel, it's more visual, and I don't relate too much with the art direction and the visual stuff. So I'm more about the narrative. So that's why I don't have a showreel. This is just a background showreel for the website.
Nice.
So how, I was just thinking, like when you first started out, you were mainly focused on the animation side rather than the design side, and obviously you partnered up with Klim, so he would do design and you would do animation. What made you switch to do like the design as well? Like how did you evolve to take care of the design side as well as the animation? Like what made you change?
Survival.
Okay. No,
well, actually, like I say, I'm not a designer and never feel like I do art direction. Well, in every project, even if I'm not doing it like all by my own, I tend to direct everything that I see as a visual. So I do a lot of references, and I know what it's cool, what it's not, what it's trend, what it works, what not. I know what I want to see, but I don't enjoy doing it, and because also I don't have the skills to do it. So my website is also like divided in two. So in one part is the small things that I do, that it's very simple stuff. Well, I don't love it. It's not a style that I feel that I want to embrace, but it's something that I do sometimes, and I like it, and that's it. And then it's the other side is when I co-direct projects with other people or the studios, or I help in the visual storytelling. I always say that because I think animation, it's a bit constrained, and it gets always like in the terms of like, you moved that, and yeah, maybe I did, but it's about the overall. It's like it's looking at a
bigger picture
movie, yeah, like the big picture of how it's going, like the classic curve of engagement and what you're going to see, like in terms of the tempo of everything. So that's kind of like both sides. But I'm just the stuff that I do by my own, I enjoy it, but I'm not pushing too much to do that kind of stuff.
So you still enjoy like dipping into the animation side, like obviously for your own work as well. And I guess it helps to it helps with direction if you know what if you have a hand in animation as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah. The cool thing is that when I work with for example, like 6 and 5 or Andres Reisinger, or now I finished a few months ago, like something with Gendry. It's great that I always feel that I'm filming. So I actually study cinema. So it's great because it's like directing in a surreal world where you can have whatever you want. It can happen anything, and you can have any camera that you want. That doesn't mean that you have to use anything, like everything, but at least you have the freedom. And I always try to feel that I'm there in a live action shooting, but I have powers to do whatever I want. So that's from my side. And then the guys, they do amazing stuff. So everything that they touch, it's gold. And yeah,
you take
really
the credit. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. I know you since that time on Sino Evil, so it's really nice to see the development of your work. You know, how you push. For who doesn't know Sebas?
Do you feel like a parent?
Yeah, but you got really well known in the beginning with like really polished, really nice curves in the animation, and so that you got your name really well. And so it's really nice to see, like you coming from the background when you were a really, really good animator and move, to the direction. You also had the studio, and then now you fully like more directing or animating projects. So it's how do you feel on this development through the years? Is something you expect to do, or you just feel natural for you?
Was it something you were aiming for from the start?
I get bored like easily. So I remember like we did an animation that it was mostly typography, and we started getting a lot of projects that they were like animated typography. And then I know that for Klim was the same, but for me it was boring to repeat the same. So I think we did a couple of typography animations, and then we say like, fuck it, let's do on the same line. It's not like now we're gonna do stop motion. It's okay, so let's one step to the side and then another step to the side, and that's something that I always did and I always kept doing, and I don't like to repeat too much what I do. Like lately, I think I'm doing kind of the same stuff, but that's also part because I'm in peace with work-life balance. And before I was kind of like pushing towards like always work, and then I went into burnout, and now I'm all over that, but I understand what's the place for work, and it's not even secondary. I think it's in the third or fourth place. It's like, I love it when I do it. I do it as best as I can, but then I know my priorities, and work, it's not.
So obviously, like, you know, you became like a dad relatively recently, and it seems like a good segue into that. So has having a kid kind of changed your perspective on work? Like, obviously, it's obviously affected your work-life balance substantially, because it has to anyway.
Yeah.
You've got no choice in that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, it was kind of funny what happened. I don't know if you had the same, but there was a pandemic a couple of years ago.
I heard something.
Yeah, you heard something about it. And well, actually, before we even knew that could happen, I knew that I was going to be a dad, and I used to be like freelance directing or collaborating with other people, and on and off. And I saw myself a few times, maybe a month, that I was doing almost nothing, because I'm not very proactive. So if I don't have work, if there's no like a commercial work or like something that it's a project that is going to give you money. Actually, it doesn't have to be specifically commercial, but something that I don't have too much motivation. That's part of what I was feeling guilty before, and now I'm not. It's kind of like, yeah, that's it.
It's energized you in a certain way.
The what?
So having a kid has kind of energized you in a certain way.
Yeah, of course. Like, and then at that time when I knew that, okay, I'm gonna be a dad, it's like I realized I start thinking, okay, I need to have like a proper job. You know, I always felt like being a dad is kind of like, okay, like this, every day I need to go to work and feel that I'm doing something.
Like the 9 to 5, check in, check out.
Exactly, something like that. And so I talked with Eze from 6 and 5 that we've been collaborating since long time, like when they were like Andres and Eze. So I say like, man, what if I join the studio? I don't touch anything from the studio, but we open a branch and it's called 6 and 5 Films. I take the lead on that and I do that. So I felt like, okay, this is like, I'm an adult now. And it went like so well that we didn't stop working for a second. And I realized that I was adding to my dad time a lot of time that I like, you know, like before I was maybe working a third of the year, and now I was working full time, and I couldn't balance. And you know how, you know, like a kid comes into your life and it unbalance everything, but at the same time I put that into the equation, and it was a kind of like, and then yeah, the fucking pandemic on the middle, so it was fuck it, and I was there, and I loved it, everything I loved it, but the time has only a certain amount of hours, and I was feeling that I was going late to everything, late to the studio, late home, late, like everything was like, I remember like one time, like a few months that I was taking taxis for everything, because I was always kind of like rushing, you know, like getting there at home. So I talked with Eze after a year and a half of collaborating like inside. I was just saying, man, I can handle that. And he knew, because we were talking about it. He was like, yeah, don't worry. We have, and the cool thing is that we just collaborated I just helped him in a project. So, and now I'm my own, and I'm taking more time to balance better. You know how it is. If a project comes in and you have a deadline, you have to work nonstop. But at least now I can take one project and then nothing, and just kind of like
you can balance
compensate from those days, and and it's been much better.
you can choose whether to take on a project or not. Like if it's a particularly difficult time, like say, I don't know, sleep training or something like that, and you want to take that 2 weeks off, and you can kind of juggle things around it a little bit, which is quite handy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one thing you said, about motivation. It's really nice you say as well, because the way you said, normally people always try, or a lot of times pretend, especially with Instagram, we're seeing like everyone needs to be happy, everyone's work hard, everyone's is always, and the way you said, if you didn't have a job or a pay job, you didn't get motivated. And it's quite nice, to hear, because everyone thinks you need to go until you burn out or you're not gonna get anywhere. Do you think changed a lot? Like for you now, you're more organized and everything. Do you think you put like your ideas better? You spend the time better because you need to balance things a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, definitely. I remember like a time before NFTs that Instagram was crazy. Like every day people were like, the everyday stuff, and it was quantity over quality. And I read and I talked with many people that they were feeling that anxious feeling of I'm not doing anything because I need to do something like every day. And now I'm happy that, well, the NFTs like slow it down, that craziness, because now people is not doing too much stuff for free. In terms like they prefer to sell it as an NFT. But at the same time, I don't feel that rush, that guilt. Let's say, that guilt that, oh fuck, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Also because I've been working since long time, so it's kind of like, yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, if that's and the good thing is like now I'm kind of like in those ways of works that, and the quality of works that they come is it's what I like and what I enjoy. So I'm happy with it. But at the same time, you know how this profession is. If you get still like for maybe 6 months, then
start drowning.
Like you drown. You always have to be like showing. But well, I don't update my Instagram since 1 year, so
yeah, I haven't followed you, dude.
I have to start. Like I'm really bad. I have a to-do list with stuff that I have to upload. Every time it's like, oh fuck, no, tomorrow. Tomorrow.
I have like a similar thing. I think about it recently. Like, if work didn't really rely on social media, which unfortunately what we do, it is intrinsically linked. Man, I would love to just delete Instagram, delete Facebook, delete it all, and just, I don't know, live in a fucking field.
Yeah.
And just do my own thing. But I just feel a bit of it's almost like internet fatigue, because it's so relentless and so fast paced. I don't know.
And you always get lost as well, as soon as you go on Instagram to do something, you end up, waste a bit time than you should,
Is that because you're trolling everybody?
No. I comment only in emoticons, so emojis everywhere. Good part. That's my style. Speed. Yeah. The other day I woke up and I deleted loads of stupid Instagram accounts that I was following, kind of like meme Instagram, like meme. How to say it in English? I don't know. Meme. Yeah, but the problem is like Instagram knows the shit that you enjoyed before, so it's dropping.
Here's some more shit, yo. You deleted it means nothing to me.
So like, what? You unfollow that shit? No, I'm gonna send it right away, like again, like every time. So you scroll too, and you get like suggestion. And
it's like being force fed. It's like you're like a goose, and this is a foie gras factory.
Fuck, man, yeah, it's and as you say, like I would like to delete it, but it's where you get like what's happening in
that's what generates your work and future projects.
But it's gonna change. Like sooner or later it's gonna change. Maybe we're gonna
see what Elon does.
Yeah, no, maybe we're gonna be dancing our works in TikTok in 2 or 3 years. I did this, and then and that will be the only way that you could get like clients to call.
Yeah.
It's really funny to see how it changed, because talk about the past, website used to be a really strong thing. Clients nowadays don't really go to website anymore. It's all like on Instagram pretty much.
I think that's what people normally ask for now. Then, like, what's your like social media links as opposed to a website and showreel, really.
Yeah, and also it's becoming more and more about the engagement that you have with what you do. So it's more related to the influence that you get, like rather than the work that you do.
Yeah,
I remember like a time where everything, like every brief was, we need 5 videos of 5 seconds to just like man, I want to tell stories and I can't.
5-second story.
Yeah, man, we did it once and it was great. We stretched it to 7 seconds.
And you can really invest in the character in 7 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna do it with I remember like it was with 6 and 5, and it was the luggage.
Oh
yeah.
I don't know. And I said like, guys, please, let's do something that has a story. And I dropped the scene in Wrecking for the Dream where they take the drugs and they were like, that kind of stuff, or the Snatch reference where they say like, I'm gonna go there, and then
the plane,
the stamp and the plane and the and I was like, let's. And I'm very. It's one of the projects that I still like since after a few years of doing it, because it's like, okay, we broke the system, like fuck it, we did a story in 7 seconds. But then you can't do everything like that. But I'm glad that after that we got the chance to do bigger, more narrative projects, and one, how it is, like one calls for the other, and then you do that, and then they like that, and then they want something else. And so yeah, it's been better the last few years.
So have like an animator dad problem conundrum. Like, how do you stop your kid watching terribly shit animation? Because my daughter is really into Peppermelon, and it's the most dog shit asset flip, terribly rigged, low budget animation, just done it doing it for money program I've ever seen. They can't do walk cycles right. The legs just go whoop, whoop, when you're trying to do like a really nice walk. It's dog shit. And because of the industry you're working, I see all the mistakes, and it really pisses me off.
I like every time that she watches something that I don't like, it's because we are in the car, like doing some big distance, so the TV is just behind me. It's like the iPad that makes the puking ratio like go down a little bit.
True.
But yeah, I don't have to see that. I'm glad. Then with her, like the only thing that I watch is Peppa Pig or.
Peppa Pig's okay, even though Peppa Pig's a spoiled little shit.
But that's it. She doesn't know anything else. That's like her world of cartoon. It's just that until now. Like at least from now.
It's funny.
How old is she now?
2.
2, yeah.
It's funny, my daughter she knows I don't like Cocomelon. She's like, Dad, you don't like this. I'm like, yeah, damn straight I don't like it.
I hate it.
But I have no choice.
Just put
unplug your head, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what the future is going to be like for our kids when they'll start learning like programming at like a young age, so it'll almost become like a mother tongue language to our kids, that generation. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, because obviously animation and programming is quite, very, very closely linked and all that kind of side of things. But to learn a programming language from such an early age, which I guess this will be a generation where that will really, that generation where that's going to happen is going to be super interesting.
specifically on what we do, I think software like Unreal and other variations that I suppose that will happen in more like animation, like 2D animation, this kind of stuff, like something that it's kind of like live, real live, that collaboration, and then you can predict like many stuff that will happen. Like who will say that social media will be like it is right now, like maybe 30 years ago? It's impossible to.
No, it's not. There'll be an iteration, like, you know, the whole thing about, I have no idea what it actually means, but metaverse, that's gonna find its form at some point, whatever that will be. And I guess that will be the next stage of social media, and then there'll probably be another stage after that, but who knows?
So we're gonna need to open our shop in the metaverse. You know?
Well, I kind of like the idea of having like a weird little avatar in 3D space running around, you know, like what was it called? Not Afterlife.
Second Life.
They had Afterlife.
Second Life, yeah. But with better graphics. And I like that. I like the idea of having like conference calls in that kind of VR world. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I suppose that in the future, like instead of having a keyboard and a Wacom and 2 monitors, you'll have like all the softwares will be there. You know, like,
maybe we'll just think it and it will appear.
That's it. Yeah.
We don't really need animate anymore. So we don't
AI will take the lead on everything, and we will be jobless.
It's like, Thiago, stop thinking about dick. You're making it difficult.
That's it. Yeah.
And talk about metaverse. You know, is this something, you know, you're looking into, you know, with your work, go like more VR side or like the digital world, or
no? I don't. At least for now, I don't have any interest on that. I don't have any interest even on the crypto art, NFT stuff. I help to collaborate. I help other teams to do that stuff. But the cool thing is, like, I work on the creative and the fun part of it, and then all the heavy stuff, what actually gives value to what someone did, that it's putting yourself as an artist over there, like talking with people about it, like being there, be present. That shit, it's extremely difficult, and it's something that I can't do. I don't want to do. I can't do. Like I'm already. Like, it's not like old enough, like but it will not get me. Like I cannot. Yeah. As I say, like I don't update Instagram since 1 year. So how I'm gonna be in Discord and Twitter and
it's
you
too
know,
much.
I can. It's maybe I will get extinct and I'll have to find another kind of work.
Yeah, but we'll be extinct but happy, I think.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, that's it. It's I have a limit, and you have to realize and understand that. Yeah, that this is my limit. This is where I go. As far as I go is here. And then if the world like advances, what I don't want to become is this kind of old people that they complain that the world changed. You know,
I think we're doing that now.
No, in my times we did animation by hand.
I was a lad.
You know, like this kind of shitty stuff. I want to, like, you know, it's I can see it now. Like, for example, like what I was animated in 2009, 2010. Now, and some of the stuff like kind of like went viral and wow, this, and it worked. Now it's the basic stuff that an intern will do, you know. And then it's like if I was doing the same like as I did 12 or 13 years ago, I will be completely dead. But at the same time, I know that I will have to, I don't know, like there's going to be a limit. I cannot like always change, you know.
But this is where the direction side comes in, because it means you can always work with people who can push the limits and all that kind of side of things.
Yeah,
so it kind of works out okay.
Exactly, and I really love to talk with the client and trying to understand what they want, and even if there's no client because it's an art piece, trying to understand where it goes, who's gonna see it, what you want to tell about it, and this kind of stuff. It's very interesting. It's what I think like many years of work gives you. But then all the technical stuff, I tried like Houdini a few times. I said like, fuck it, I'm like, I can't. Like, this is not for me. That's like, I cannot like start a software as complex as this one since scratch. I don't have any interest. So young people have to be better. That for sure. I think as professionals that we are, with a few years extra, we have to embrace the youngers to be better than we were like at the same time, you know, like, and I remember like one guy, he was a producer. He still owes me money, so fuck him. But if he says something that it was interesting, and he said like, you know, in a football team, I'm very bad with football, but I understood his metaphor. Like in the football team, you need the young who will run, and then you need the more experienced, that they will go slower and they will get like tired more easily, but they understand the opponent, and they will know how to, you know, like you need all kinds of different.
Yeah. Well, they teach the younger generation, but the younger generation have the energy. Kind of thing. So,
exactly. Yeah. And I think that's great. That's kind of like
it's
the circle of life. I'm hearing like Antumenia in my head, like circle of life.
So what's your kind of like, what's your ideal kind of client, or your favorite type of client to work with?
Well, it's a difficult question. I like a client that has a good communication. That for sure, and who respects my vision or our vision, depending on the position that I am. That for sure. And then I totally understand. I really like to work with clients, and I understand that what I'm doing, it's not an art piece for me. It's something that it has to be valuable for them. And if it's for a product, it has to help them. It's awful, but sell that project.
You've got to sell that toilet paper.
Fuck it, yeah. But then no, but like.
But it'll be the best looking toilet paper.
Yes, exactly. And we had good communication, so it's a great animation. No, but when we were working for Microsoft, it didn't feel like as a client. It was kind of like a commission, and lately it's what happening, and it's great. It started happening with when before 6 and 5, then when I was at 6 and 5, and then working with Andres and now with Tendril. It's like all the projects that they come. It's kind of like a art stuff that at the end it has to express something, of course, and then at the end has a logo.
Yeah, that's nice. So it's like they respect the work that you do. It's not like, when you get clients, so they commission you, and then it's like, well, can you copy this? And then even halfway through, that will change. The vision will change. So they're not hiring you because of you. It's just you're a body. But it's nice when the client respects your creative vision.
Well, sometimes it starts as something and then it ends up like, but you have to adapt. And I always try to recommend like my vision. I think if you do this, it will look like shit. But of course, in a colloquial terms, like professional terms, but it's like, if you do this, it's not gonna work because of this and that. No, but I want to do it. okay, and you do it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I do my opinion. I try to push it. If it's something really bad, I try to push it. But then I don't get mad. I don't get stressed. I really hate when they change stuff and then they go back and they never say
Just
like
a waste of time.
yes. That's the worst when they go and they go back and there's always like a kind of like a triumph.
You manage it.
You know, like, and they never say like it will be something simple as saying like, you know what, sorry man, like let's go back a few steps. Okay, yeah, don't worry. But I hate it when no, I have an idea and they say something that you already did. Like,
it's like, I have an idea, let me just copy and paste what you said earlier.
yes, that's the kind of stuff. Yeah,
that is frustrating when you have to, you know an idea is not going to work, but you do it anyway because you have to prove to them it's not going to work. I find that so frustrating.
Yeah, but it's part of the job. Absolutely. I always feel like it's not, they don't pay for the final piece. They pay for all the process.
Yeah, it's true. But it's nice to see, like you said about the collaboration with Microsoft, and we're seeing, I think, more and more brands try to get like studios and artists to let they, express themselves and put just the logo in the end, not sell as much product as before, so it is really nice to see that change, because in the past we didn't get much of that. It used to be just sell.
What was there was an advert for Cadbury chocolate with the gorilla. Do you remember the gorilla? I think
the
Fallon
gorilla.
did it. Yeah, and it's like so irrelevant. And then they just put Cadbury's logo at the end.
Yeah.
we need more.
That didn't have any sense, like nothing.
But everybody knows it, and obviously it sells their chocolate. So we need more clients like that. It's like, yeah, just do whatever. We'll stick a logo at the end.
Okay, yeah. Well,
but make it bigger.
It's not like that. This kind of projects, they always have like a very conceptual brief, and then you have to take that and transform it into something that express that brief. So it's not like do whatever, like, yeah, I want to have a gorilla like drumming. Great, we fucking love it. It's not like that. It gets like very like a lot of rounds of trying to find that concept, and it's not as random as it's
simple like that.
Yeah, but
the money just
maybe that was extreme.
Yeah, but the good, I think that's one of the good parts of the social media, or like it doesn't have to be social media, but like everyone watch it in a place where they don't like it, they can swap or they can skip it. So that I think that it works in our favor in terms of that. Now more and more I can see that clients, they want to make sure that it's not too commercial, because if it's like too commercial, people will just like, fuck it, I don't want publicity. Yeah. But if you do something that it's very engaging, like visually or story-wise, and it's like people like they watch it because it's content and something that they enjoy, and then at the end, like everything resolves into like, okay, so like the fucking logo, or like, yeah, buy our stuff. I hate to say that, but that's the truth, right? Like, I think more and more it's going to happen, and it's happening, and I'm glad.
I guess on a similar vein, is there any client you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with?
Nah. No, it's I get excited when there's a new client that I never think of, but no, I think the magic of, oh wow, this client.
This is what happens when you've worked a while in the industry, you become a little bit jaded. It's like, oh, MTV, wow. Whereas now it's like, MTV, that's going to be a terrible budget.
Yes, I remember like they paid like, sorry, but I'm gonna spread out like, their budget was the year. So right now, I suppose that their budget is 2022. It was kind of like, yeah, we're gonna pay you shit and we're gonna laugh about it.
Like they would approach companies with budgets that were less than what you'd charge as a day rate for a freelancer. You know, it's like it's trying to undercut freelancers but to a company. That's
Yeah.
what I remember.
But at the same time, and like a few years ago, as you say, like MTV, like, oh wow, that's cool, because there's a lot of freedom and puts you in a cool position of, yeah, I did something for MTV. So there's something that you win from that exchange.
A tick box on the website.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it helps you to build a reel. So yeah.
Yeah, in the past we used to have quite a lot of them. Like MTV used to be kind of the cool place to work, and even if you didn't get much money, at least you get a lot of exposure. But with social media nowadays, you know, everyone see what is there. You know, like you don't even need the TV channel.
You might as well just do it for yourself.
Yeah, it's true. So
you know.
I think, do you think that's maybe also the reason, you know, like companies going, you know, letting people, you know, of course there is a process behind, but letting them express more the artist, you know, because they, you know, like they want to get involved with cool people, you know, what people is doing. Before we didn't have much of the, maybe it's one of the reasons, you know, like, because then they just put on the social media, you know, it's like you said, Sebas, you know, you're not really selling much, or people just gonna go, it's just really cool piece, you know, you get attract more, you know, you get more people like, and then you just like, oh, he is Coca-Cola or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Like you mentioned like NFTs earlier, but I was just thinking like what Thiago was saying about big corporations. What are your thoughts on like big corporations jumping on the NFT bandwagon?
You know what? I don't know too much about NFTs, so I need to be careful on what I say, because I don't want to fight that. And you know, if you say something wrong about NFT, you're gonna have lots of shit. Yeah, it's a very packed community. Well,
maybe we'll talk about that after the stream.
No, but it's not. I don't know too much about that. What I know that it's the people who does NFTs, they don't see that as something nice. I don't know how to say it.
I think it's more to do with. I was just wondering about what your thoughts on like big companies like Pepsi Cola are doing like what's it called, like a profile picture project kind of thing, NFT project.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a massive cash grab. And I don't think it's a good look for a massive corporation, because to me, I don't know, the NFT space, even if the artwork's terrible, it should be about supporting the artist who's making it. Even if they're a cash grab artist, you have to decipher from those guys. But when you get like big corporations involved, it seems really weird.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's when you get a freedom as this kind of stuff, they're always going to happen. So
no, it makes sense.
I think it's unfair to complain and to say like they shouldn't be allowed. It's like, fuck it.
I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed.
It's part of the freedom, you know. If you compare it to freedom of speech, yeah, there's going to be people who will say stuff that you don't like, or there will be like shitty things to say. But I don't know. They can do whatever they want, and then if people buys it, it's their fucking issue. I don't have.
I just feel like it's a marketing department jumping on something, and it doesn't necessarily reflect great on a company.
Actually, today I got a call to do an NFT for a company. So
was it a large company?
It didn't. I can't say, but it didn't suit me because it was more about like art direction. But I was talking to the guy, and I was like, man, like if you don't know too much about this is, you know, like you're gonna call people and it's how do you say, like it's fuck, I don't know how to say it in English.
Say it in Spanish.
Yeah, you know, like está jodido. It's like it's a thread mill, like, you know, thread lightly or well, fuck it, yeah. It's a very situation.
Fine line.
Yeah, something like that. Thank you. Our English
but also,
That's why I'm here.
but it's I'm not a person really into NFTs as well, but I've been reading a lot like about like what you're saying, James. Companies jumping on that. The thing is a massive market. It, I don't know. May look bad for companies when we see from the perspective of the artists, but it's like for brands, is they're creating products to sell like bags and wallets, like. So people is just gonna buy this. People don't really care, it's a massive market. They said like for design, brands, this is like billions. I think they expect like 65 billion just like in revenue in the next few years with the, for companies. So when you need to produce like, let's say a bag, and you can produce just the amount of bags per year, you always people want to just show up the brand. I don't get why you'd buy, NFT of a bag.
Yeah, it's like that's the weird thing of like when it's like a real good. It's like you probably end up spending the same price on the NFT as you are on the actual goods. Like just go buy your tacky Gucci bag. Whatever.
Yeah. But people just I don't know. They say it's a massive revenue. So I think we may think that's really shit for big corporate, but like the person that's gonna buy that or has too much money doesn't really give a shit. May turn it to be a trend in the future. Like it's like wearing a label or you own a label.
I suppose I always felt that it's similar to when Pepsi did like a limited editions on a tin can and something like that. I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of,
maybe I'm saying something wrong, but I feel like it's something like that.
But at least that's a physical item.
I think we're just too old, I think our generation maybe, I'm completely with you, but for me it's the same by like NFT from artists, I like hanging the things or be able to look.
I get it in certain ways. Like I think artwork makes sense, and obviously it can be applied to a lot more things like music and obviously pictures of handbags. But that's where it becomes a little bit too marketed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe we're getting a bit off topic.
Yeah.
Do you have a "Make America Great Again" like on the background?
It's "Make Animation Great Again."
Yeah, it's animation.
We
did the hats.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you because otherwise people will think I'm...
Yeah.
We did it when
I was thinking out, man, like for a few minutes I was like, nah, this has to be a joke. Make animation ready. Okay, you're safe.
Yeah,
don't worry.
We have quite a few of them. We made for Sino Evil when Trump was up, but it's quite hard to wear them.
That's the problem. I think maybe we made him too accurate.
Yeah. People have to read it like very closely to understand the joke.
Yeah, but even then, I think yeah.
Sebas, let me ask you something related. Like I always like to bring the subject about students and people like that. If you could, give advice for yourself, with what you know now, if you could give advice for you when you start the career, like follow people start the career now, and especially with the pandemic, we had like a really gap last year. People really struggle with that. What would be your advice, for someone joining the career now, to wanna break through and wanna get work,
It's this kind of question is on the same level of what inspires you. It's quite difficult to.
That was the next question.
That's the next question. Yeah. There's nothing I will say. I always, every decision that I take, I don't have any regrets. Never. Like, because I understand that everything that you do puts you in this position. So even if something bad happens. Like, yeah, I don't have any regrets, and that's something that we always talk with my girlfriend, and she was like, how do you don't have any regrets? Like, I don't have any fucking. And then if I have to say something to someone else that starts right now, it's I think there's a stigma now that the exposure thing, and it's something that we just talk about, the MTV stuff, and I think there's a misconception on that stuff. Yeah, if MTV will come now to, like, let's say me, I will say no, thank you. But if that same project from MTV will come to me, like when I was 19 or 20, I will say, fuck yes, I don't give a shit, even if it was 0, you know? And I think because I was like, at that time, I will have like something to win from it, that it's okay, now I'm building a step into my career. And and I think it's very unfair to say that there's a fixed price for like everyone, and you have to adapt. You know, like a €5 logo, it's a €5 logo. If you are doing a €5 logo and you are charging 1,000, you are stealing. You know, if you're charging 1,000, I'm saying the logo because I always remember that comparison. But the thing is that everything has a value depending on your skill and your experience. So fuck it, if you just started as an animator and you want to do something and you feel that that's something puts you in a better position for the next project, just go for it. I'm not saying, please, because this is kind of like the MAGA hat. I'm not saying like work for free. Please be aware that I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that let's give it a break to the stigma on the working for exposure. It depends on your situation.
Yeah.
I remember like in an event, there was a round table, and they were all people that they were like very solid in their work, in their career. And then one say like, if a project comes like from Ferrari and they don't have too much budget, you have to say no. Yes, dude, you say no. But if that call is for a guy who just like students that they just ended animation, or I don't know, like 3D stuff, for sure, like say yes.
Yeah.
You will be complaining that how Ferrari doesn't have a budget, for sure. But then fuck it, you will end up with a Ferrari project just after finishing school, like, you know. So you are earning something, you're winning something from that exchange. It's not the exposure thing. It's like, okay, I have this on my back. I did something for this client, or I did something, and I think that's something quite interesting to play with. It's
I think you're right. Like, you have to figure out with every project you do, what do you get out of it? Be it monetary, be it experience, be it, you know, to play with a new style or whatever. But you have to make sure you get something out of it. And
doesn't need to be money.
Yeah.
Cool, nice. That was a deep answer.
Yeah, it was good. I think, he's right. I think sometimes, like, you know, it's easy to look back when you've got like 10, 15 years of experience and you say, oh, I'm going to say no. But everyone's at a different place in their life, and you're right. Like, if it's early on and you can get something from that project, then yeah, sure, don't just discount it. But I think there is one thing to bear in mind is, like, once as long as you get something out of it, great. But once you put your price down, it's really hard to put it back up later on. I think that's also can be quite a struggle. That's also something to bear in mind.
Well, I still have. I don't have a fixed price. Fixed price.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
rate.
I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
You're not a prostitute.
It depends of like there's many variables. It depends on how, like, if that project gives me something new, if if I'm interesting, if I'm sometimes what happened, like not now, but in other situations, what happened is like, okay, we're full of work, so if this comes in, be better like that we can manage it like economically. We have a good amount, so the budget just raises up because you're full. And then if it comes in, you say fuck it, and then you put your stuff and you swing, but at least that you will get something. But it's still like many times that I do something for like very low budget or even no budget, or just being in a percentage. So if it goes well, now with this crypto art, NFT stuff, like if it goes well, it's good. If it goes bad, it's I take my chances sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I guess sometimes you do the projects with good budgets, so you can take on a project with no budget or less of a budget to replenish or recharge your soul.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I even work on a personal projects as well. You can reinvest in yourself, look for new style. It's always good.
Yeah.
Cool. So we almost hitting 1 hour show. So let's go for the last 2 questions to Sebastian. So we don't hold you. James, do you want to ask something? You were going to ask another question after.
Yeah, sure. Like I was going to say what inspires you, but I don't know. It's a bit lame. But like I don't know. I kind of feel we've probably touched on it a little bit. But like, what are your kind of like top 3 industry pet peeves? Like, what kind of annoys you about the industry that you wish that should change? Be it like free pitching, for example, is one of mine.
No, I don't. I don't have too much of that. But lately, well, like one of the, I think I said it all. Like, so it will be kind of like summarizing everything. It's the speed of everything. But that's the rules, It's how everything. Like whatever you do, like in 6 months, like 1 year, it's
I do. Sorry to interject, but I do kind of feel sometimes because we work on computers and maybe there's like a new plugin or whatever. Clients sometimes think, oh, we can just turn out animation on a dime. We'll just do it tomorrow. They don't understand the process sometimes.
Yeah. The other thing, it's fuck it. I don't remember like all the stuff that they say. Well, that's not. I'm quite happy right now because I found this balance of work. So yeah, I don't have too much to complain.
Do you think you'd want your little one to go into the creative industry eventually? I mean, obviously we're talking a long time down the line.
Yeah, come on.
I hope. It's like, oh, you're 6, better get back on After Effects.
Yes, of course. No, actually, I don't mind. I was lucky enough to have parents that they pushed me to do whatever I wanted, and I want the same stuff for her, and it's great. That kind of family that grows with that feeling. Like I remember, like one time, my dad. Well, it wasn't one time, like a few times. He repeated himself a lot of times. He said, like, if you wanna sell hot dogs in a stadium, it's called panchos in Uruguay. Right. Panchos. Si quieres vender panchos, if you wanna sell hot dogs in a stadium, like, man, do it. Like, just be sure that you sell the best hot dogs that you could ever do. And I always like that stick to my mind, you know, okay, whatever I do, I have to do it as best as I can. And and that's sticking in my hand. And that's the same that I'm gonna pass through the next generation.
So hot dogs, yeah, got it.
Hot dogs, yeah, you have to sell hot dogs.
Yeah, but that is nice you saying that, because I don't know, sometimes I think maybe our generation, we used to really connect more with the projects. I don't know if people nowadays looking more to get the money, you know, but doesn't have that committed with the project. You know, they just do and don't pay attention on details. You know, it's a lot of mistake, and you need to keep asking change. And in the past, you know, people used to, you know, like really love what we're doing. You know, I don't think was as a job as it is nowadays. You know, so what you're saying, like if you do something, just really do, you know, do your best on that. And I think I quite miss nowadays this.
The thing is that there's every year it's exponentially how many people are coming into this profession, and it's spreading all the kind of things. Like even the three of us, we specialize in different parts of this profession, and there's more and more, and there's more need. Like there's more clients who want everything moves now, and sometimes for no reason. But there's more stuff, and there's more people, and of course you're gonna cross some people that they don't know how to properly work, but there's still good professionals. And then maybe it's a little bit harder to find them because there's a sea bigger than before.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There's more, and I, like, as I say, like what I did in 2010, now it's the basic stuff that everyone does. No, it's specifically that. Like, sorry, I'm like, I don't want to, but the kind of detail and the kind of animation, it's what any starting motion designer does. And man, that's a hint of that. There's good professionals. I understand that then it's not just what you do, it's how you react and stuff.
Yeah, so creative, not just a skill set.
Yeah, but I suppose that if you had your studio like 15 years ago, it will, and this amount of projects, it will be harder for you to find people.
Yeah,
now,
it's true.
Now there's many professionals, and you can find like, and thanks to the pandemic, well, fuck, it sounds so bad. It's not thanks to the pandemic, but yeah, you understand. Like, please,
you can work with
always everything that I say, like, think in a good way. You know, English is not my language, and sometimes I fucked up. But the good side of the pandemic was that working remotely, it now it's more standardized, and
yeah, that's a good thing, for sure.
And that's great, man. Not all the virus.
But yeah, no, I agree with you.
I'm just glad you didn't say half the competition died.
Fuck no.
Because that would be bad. But yeah, it's nice that, you know, it makes it easier to work with, you know, across the Atlantic, or, you know, or across to Asia or wherever. It's nice that it's opened things up a lot in that regards, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think this is something help. I think everyone, especially like with the amount of project nowadays, you know, and it's great. Then we can work with people from anywhere now, you know.
Yeah, man, it's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. So let's ask the last question. Should we ask the typical last question for Sebas?
Yeah, but you can ask it this time.
Okay, Sebas, if you not as a person, but you as a director or artist was on the Tinder, how would you be your Tinder account? You know, how you know, the man with sex curves, you know, in animation.
How would you describe?
How would you?
Yeah, you did say you had sexy curves earlier, so that's probably quite a good one.
your memory very well. Yeah.
I do.
Wow. Man, you are fuck. This kind of question for me are so hard. Like every time that I have to, you know, what for events or something, and they say like, "Can you send me a bio?" Right? I don't know what to say. Like Sebas, I do stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like that will be my Tinder. It's like, do you want to meet? That's it.
Are you down? Question mark.
You could have put the guy then create the sex curves back in 2000, you know.
Here I am. That will be the description. Here I am. Sebas.
Here I am.
Here I am.
Cool, man. So we just passed a little bit of the 1 hour. So I want to thank you so much to join, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I hope to see you next week anyway. But it's been a pleasure to have you again. You know, it's been like 13 years since we have you.
Well, he's done three. This is his third Scene Weevil outing, because it was first with Challenger World, and then was it Sebastian Klim? I think he did a talk.
Oh yeah.
And then now this. True. So he's getting up there with Golden Wolf and Ingy in the Hall of Fame.
See you in maybe 6 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you keep doing this. I started an event a couple of years ago, and it was extremely difficult to keep it running, man. And I'm glad that you still have the strength to pull it off. So
I think we're just stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you, man. Yeah, we quite enjoy, and we did the one in Cafe 1001 last month. No,
you got the live show back again. Yeah,
you know, the live show.
And we should have another live show in about a month's time.
Next month? No, yeah, June.
June. Okay, month and a half.
Yeah,
whatever it is. But we'll announce the date on our social media soon.
Yeah, but thanks so much, man. It was a pleasure, and
thank you guys
to hear a little bit of how you're doing. You know, how things, you know, like you change on your career as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
And becoming a dad.
And becoming a dad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sexy curves got you in trouble.
So thank you, everyone. We're gonna, as usual, have the YouTube live stream in the end of next month, and the live show in Brick Lane is gonna be in June as well. But we're gonna announce on the Instagram as we talked about. Cool. So have a good night, guys.
All right, take care. See you.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me see how we stop the live stream. Cool. I think we just